Welcome, everybody. We're back, and we're back to bitch. Yeah, not that we ever left it. Don't worry. I never leave.
Hello.
I'm always just sitting right in my little nest of bitch on all my little eggs that I fill up with goss. And I hope they don't crack, because if they do, I'm going to have little bitchlings. And they're going to be made
like
up
you
of goss.
guys, all of our little bitchlings that listen to this podcast. I'm Kara Clank.
I'm Jackie Zabrowski.
This is Who's the Bitch, with a podcast where we tell you who's the bitch.
Yes, and it
in
might
your
be you.
situation, and it could be you.
Be you.
I hate to tell you. We have a BITCHathon coming up on June 11th, very soon. It's at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@who'sthebee.
Yes.
Tune in, call in. The ways you can call in are all at who'sthebitch.com. You can be on camera. You can be off camera.
You don't have to be.
You can just watch along and get involved in the chat. If you really can't come, you can watch it later. Those views are also helpful.
And if you also really can't come, there are ways to fix it, and you should get, you can talk to somebody about it.
If you really can't attend in person.
Yes.
But that is all of our general bitchery announcing.
Right up top.
Besides generally, if you're listening and you've got a bitchuation, send it to us.
Hit us up.
Who'sthebitch.com.
We were just talking about this. It was funny because a friend of mine, I was talking about someone else's gossip, and she's like, it's so crazy. I just love to dig into other people's gossip. I'm like, it's not that crazy. It's literally why Kara and I started Who's the Bitch. It is because we genuinely
want to hear your hot goss.
Give me your goss. Give me the details. Tell me about what your cousin Betty did to you. And we're probably going to be on your side.
Remember the mother-in-law that hit her at a family function? There's so many. To me, it's like, it doesn't have to be world star level drama. It can literally just be something.
It can be, my sister decided it would be funny if I pissed in the front. Remember that?
In the car.
Remember when she went, I'm doing it.
Oh my gosh.
When her sister was.
We should just do an episode that's like, remember this one? And we just do a Chris Farley.
I think about
Do you remember when the girl called in that she pissed in her sister's car?
That?
Do you remember that? That was awesome.
MJ usually refers to me as that almost any time I'm talking about Tim Robinson, because I love Tim Robinson so much. The guy that does I Think You Should Leave, and Friendship, Detroit Hurts, all that stuff. I just think he's so genuinely funny that MJ's like, I think that if you ever actually met Tim Robinson, I'd be like, and then that one time when you did, do you remember
when you were in the dress like the hot dog?
And I do think I would be that person, and that's why I guess I hope I never meet him.
Yeah, don't meet your true heroes.
No,
because you will embarrass yourself.
Oh yeah, he certainly. As if no one's ever embarrassed themselves to Tim Robinson before.
I'm sure. I mean, his whole brand of comedy is cringe embarrassment humor, but he's so funny.
Sorry, we're not here to talk about Tim Robinson.
But no, send it in. High stakes, low stakes. A lot of you send in stuff that's quite high stakes and go, okay, low stakes bitchuation here. My whole family might fall apart. I love those too. Send it all in. But let's start with a little bit of unsolicited advice that Jackie and this is where we just talk about something going on in pop culture or in our lives that no one asked us about, but I want to talk about it. Now,
I'm excited.
I have a question. I need some advice.
Okay.
And this is actually related to. I have a friend who has called into the pod before. She called in recently with a situation that I am almost exactly in. I won't say her name. Her name is B. We'll call her B.
Okay.
She knows who she is, though, I think. And she's someone I know personally, friends with my brother. And we've played her calls before. Her call got cut off, so I didn't want to play it. But I think that I had a very similar situation. And her situation and my situation is this. We both live in homes where I park on the street because we don't have alternate side parking on my street, so we can park our cars and leave them there for pretty much as long as we want. And so we have 2 parking spots right in front of our house. And that's where we park our 2 cars usually. Lately, somebody has been coming and parking their car right in front of our house for 3 to 6 days at a time. And it is not my spot. I do not own it. But there are, when I tell you, 100 other spots right there. I live near a school. When they park the car, the kids don't even park near my school.
Right.
Like, so the kids have like their own parking, like there's other parking spaces. So there is so much parking. And right up from where I live, right up from my house, there are no other houses. The houses face a different street. So you could literally park in one of 10 other spots. Across the street is just the school. No one cares where you park there.
Right.
So there's so many spots you could park in, and this person just keeps parking in front of my house specifically for days.
Wow. You're also in the middle of the street, so it's not even like, oh, you're at the end, so that's why they just keep driving the end.
It's not convenient for this person unless they're going to, and I know my neighbor, and I've asked my neighbor, do you know who this is? And they're like, I think it's a friend of someone who lives up there, but like, it's not like it's convenient for them, and they're just leaving their car there. And so I was, and with my friend, she was saying, the one that wrote in, she was saying similar thing that like we both have young children. We're unloading our kids all the time. It's actually kind of dangerous for me to park across the street because my kid keeps freaking running into the street.
Across. Yes, well, still little.
I got backpacks. I got groceries. I mean, I'm carrying so much crap that it would just be so
nice. Rosie's not little, but she knows not to run into the street.
Yes, it would just be so nice to like let us have that spot when there are so many others. Like, look, if it's a football game, I know I'm not getting a parking spot in front of my own house. I get that. But day to day, there's so many freaking spots.
Yeah.
Open, and you're just parking right in front of my house. And B had the same issue, but it's her kooky neighbors that are like giving very Grey Gardens vibes.
Oh.
That are like, do all this weird stuff, like leave stuff out on their front porch for a long time, whatever. And she is just getting really frustrated that they keep parking right in front of her unit when they could park in front of their own unit.
Gotcha.
And I'm about to possibly write a note.
I think you're
like
writing
just
a note.
Nice note.
I think you're writing
just
a
being
note.
like, hey, I just have noticed your car parked here a few times. I live right here in this house and I have 2 small kids and this is usually where I park to get them in and out safely. Is it okay for you to just move up a little bit? Like if they moved their car up 15 feet, there's tons of the exact same parking and you're not blocking anyone's home.
And I think that it has to be someone that feels like they are parking out of the way because wherever they're going to, I imagine they are parking out of the way for wherever they're going to.
Or they think I have a driveway and I park in my driveway, but I do have a driveway and my driveway is basically where my kids play. It's in the back and it's extremely hard to get into and I've scratched my car twice trying to put it in there. So we do not use it.
So I think that leaving the note is like, honestly, there's...
It's
nothing,
like I don't own it. We
Right.
had somebody else call in about this and say I shoveled out my spot. This has nothing to do with winter or shoveling out spots or anything.
I understand the blind rage of going towards your car and seeing a note on the outside of a car because I remember when I was watching Henry's dogs and I kept parking. I usually park in the same space in his neighborhood and it's not blocking anything.
Right.
But one day, because I would keep the car there if I'm watching the dogs, I received a note on the outside of my car. And as I'm walking up, I'm like, what's this fucking note? Who put a fucking note on my car? But then what the note said was, hey, our 15-year-old is learning how to drive and he needs to pull in and out of this driveway fairly easily. If you're going to park here, that's okay. Can you just back up and give more space just so he doesn't hit the front of your car?
Perfectly nice.
I was completely heard, really appreciated, but it was so funny seeing the note across the street. I'm like, whoa, for what?
Yeah.
What do you gotta say
to
what me?
I'm also remembering is somebody was parked in front of my house the other day. And again, I don't really mind. Some people will come and park there for a few hours. That doesn't really bother me. I'll move somewhere else because I'm in and out. It's just when you park there for like 4 days at a time, I'm like, come on. That's like where we park.
Yes.
And it's under a tree. It's shady, whatever. Somebody was parked there the other day and I saw they had a note on their window.
Ooh, what did that note say?
It said something bad. It said something really rude. And I took it and I threw it away.
Whoa.
Because it was literally 3 words, but it was racist and it was shitty. And I was just like, I'm just going to throw this away. I don't think anyone needs to see this. I don't think anyone needs to hear about it. And even if it was a joke and it was a friend,
it doesn't
you go,
matter.
Oh, it blew away because it was super tiny. It was a super tiny note. And my trash bins were out. And I was like, no, if you're going to park in front of my car, you're not going to like leave racist notes to people that my kids can read.
Yeah.
Because my daughter can read and reads everything. And so I'm like, I'm going to throw that away.
Good
so
for
I hope I saved somebody from getting some shitty
or at least
note.
saved someone from a bad rest of their day because that's just going to put, it's like, oh my God, to write a bad note. Like, that's what I'm saying. With the note, it's all in how you write the note.
I'm literally going to be like, it's totally within your rights to park here, but it would be so helpful if you could just flip around and park in front of the school, move up and park here. Like, you're just in the only damn spot that I need. And it's annoying.
And I think that, like, as someone that is familiar with your neighborhood, they can easily do that. So
it's like, it's really a great place to park. Because there's no street sweeping.
Yeah.
No alternate
it's beautiful.
side.
It is a beautiful, oh God. And because the school is there, there's always like spaces to park. And it really is wonderful. But it is, Kara's opening my world to the idea of notes. Because I think that as someone with an anger problem, I don't know, I get irrationally angry, even though it is a proper communication tool, especially for strangers. And it does make sense. But I think that before I started talking to you so much, I really felt very differently about sending and receiving letters of communication like that.
I'm so into emails and notes because I just feel like you can gather your thoughts.
Yes.
And sometimes when it's like a call or something or an face-to-face, I get so
stressed.
But I also have left notes for people that park. So where I live, there's 2 spots.
Oh my God,
if
when they park
in the center,
middle.
I just go, can you please not take up 2 spots? I just put a post-it on their thing goes, please next time don't take up 2 spots.
Don't take up 2 spots.
Because what the is wrong with people?
Well, especially in a lot of fancier neighborhoods that don't want anybody parking, they'll park in the middle so nobody else can park on their streets. And then I'm just like, rich people, what the? I'll look for anything to get upset about. Who, me?
What?
Not us.
Anyway, if you feel differently, let me know. But I think I'm planning on leaving the note because it's been there for 3 days.
I think you leave the
entire
note.
weekend it's been there.
I think you leave the note.
Jackie, please go ahead and let's get into our solicited advice and you read our first submission.
You got it. Hi, you ladies bring joy to my early Wednesday mornings. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for listening. I started homeschooling our child during COVID of 2020. Full day remote kindergarten online was not going to work out for us. We have found our family enjoys homeschooling and have since joined a parent partnership, a very common public/homeschool hybrid system. Kids in class once a week, but does the majority of learning at home. My child, Callie, is in 5th grade now, and while they have a few friends from their weekly classes, they are wanting to be more social. I searched out a local homeschool playgroup in our area, and we started going to meetups. Think playgrounds, open gym, 3 hours of free play recess activities while the moms sit and chat. We stuck with it for a few months. Callie really enjoyed it and made some connections with the kids there. I, however, found myself feeling more and more uncomfortable with each meetup. A few details. We live in a rural small town that leans conservative outside of a much larger city in the Pacific Northwest. All the adults in the group are stay-at-home moms. No big deal, me too. Most of them seem to know each other from church. Also, whatever, #not all Christians. They all seem very friendly, welcoming, and close. Here's where the starts for me. We are not a religious or conservative family. I was raised Catholic, which in my opinion stunted my mental health. I hear you and I see you and I understand and I agree. My kid is starting the journey of puberty and prefers they, them pronouns and doesn't identify with gender at this time. I'd like to give them lots of support and room to grow into whoever they are. The families in the social group seem very traditional. All straight, married white ladies, all praising God when the park day weather is nice, most often been on religious missions to spread the word of Christ around the world. 2 of their husbands, in fact, do this as a profession. The play group itself isn't specifically Christian, and no one has asked me about my beliefs. However, I've been invited to several Christian-based homeschool programs through this group, and when I dive into the missions and value statements of said organizations, I come up against loads of anti-trans, anti-gay, no sex till marriage, conservative statements that say, for the sanctity of the programs, all participants and staff must believe this way. We didn't sign up. I quit going to these meetups through the winter as it didn't seem like a good fit, at least for me. Kid loved the playtime and community, though, and keeps asking when we can go back. I'm attempting to find a group of peers who will ultimately accept Callie for who they are. We now have them involved in the local children's theater and a weekly RPG gaming class in town, but they're craving more free play with peers and is still asking about the meetups. Am I the bitch for rejecting this local homeschool community when my child and I need connection? My kid clearly enjoys playing with those children, and the women all seem funny and nice, but I find it hard to be authentic. I haven't dealt with any overt hostility. Do I keep going and bring some diversity to the group? Fuck it. I just don't want my kid to experience any weird bullshit. I'm thinking about driving the hour into the big city to get involved in a weekly homeschool park day with a more diverse group of peers, though the $6 a gallon gas and time on the road might be the end of me. Thanks for your consideration, Kendall. And thank you so much for writing in. Thank you. This has got to be very difficult. Very difficult, especially in a place where you're surrounded by so many people that are of that like mind when you feel like you're on the outside of these beliefs. It has to feel lonely and it feels like a lot of solitude, especially when you're in a place where you're already a parent that's homeschooling. So I imagine you already or at least part of the time, you already feel a sense of solitude and loneliness just because you are separated from the overall community of parenting. Like, do you interact with other homeschool parents?
I just I've made a bunch of friends through my kids' school people.
Right.
So I would say maybe you're not feeling like, but they're not like solitude, but like a separation. Like, you're homeschooling. So you're just like a little bit out on your own, because you're doing your own thing. I like that you're doing this hybrid thing. And I'm wondering if is there a way that you can have Callie identify a few of their friends that are from that one day of school? Or is it kind of hard to make friends in that one day of school? Do they have a couple school friends that they could be doing some for lack of a better word, play dates, because I know that they're in fifth grade, so it's not really, play dates is kind of, but
right.
Hangs with some friends at school, or I do like that they're getting into the theater and the RPG stuff. That sounds really cool, and you've definitely hit on some progressive areas.
Which is awesome.
And I wonder,
oh my God, especially in the TTRPG world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if you can kind of try to connect with some of the parents also from those groups,
right.
So that outside of those things, you can be any of you want to go to a jump place for this Sunday for a few hours or whatever? Because I think that it sucks because your kid is older than my kids. And if my kids just keep asking me about something, I'm they'll forget about it. And then they do. You have a fifth grader, they don't. If they keep asking you about it, it's probably because they really are that was fun. But if you could replace those activities with different people, because I feel you on a level that is I just talked about this with my friend the other day because we were talking, our kids were at the zoo together and they love each other so much and they've known each other since they were 2. And I was I just hope they stay friends through high school. And I was I used to have such friends that were through my parents that were such good friends. And then if my parents stopped hanging out with them, we just didn't hang out anymore.
Right.
So it is a big part of it is the parents getting along, that the kids get along. It becomes a part of it. So I'm wondering how you can kind of make some friends also in these communities,
right?
Where your kids can play together so that it feels good for everyone and you're just building more of a community of progressive, like-minded people.
Right, because I do encourage definitely going outside and like you said, you can go into the city and you can definitely find other groups with which, Callie could hopefully find some, friendship and also community as well, because it sounds like you both really need community.
Yeah.
And especially with, as they grow and as they change. But I guess question for you, Kara, as a parent, 5th grade, we're talking 10th grader or 10-year-old, right?
10 or 11.
At what part, and I know probably 10 is probably way too young, would you consider, because Callie keeps asking about it, of explaining how different religious beliefs feel differently about different things, and that in this space, and explaining a little bit more about the idea, or do you think that Callie is too young of like some people feel this way,
Yeah.
we don't feel this way, but sometimes people are going to feel this way, and encouraging them of like just because these are the missions and the beliefs of this program does not mean that it's the mission and beliefs of the people. I'm saying only as devil's advocate. I'm not saying that this is the
No, I feel torn about this because like my dad one time took me to a birthday party at the country club in our town that I was invited to, and on the way there told me that not to tell anyone that I was Jewish because that the country club used to not accept Jews, and I was in 5th grade, and that was a stressful birthday party for me. Like I was like Anne Frank at that birthday party. Like, should I hide?
Right.
Like I hated it, and I think I would. There's a difference between like just doing something like my dumb dad did and also just giving Callie a little bit more context about what's happening. And, these people are really religious because they might say something like, yeah, but the kids don't care, whatever. I also think it's okay for you to go back to that group. Like you said that you quit the play group last winter because it didn't really fit for you. I would say if Callie's really, really begging for it and no one has said anything specifically like conservative or anti-trans to you or anything that is like against your beliefs, that you could ease back into it and go once in a while just to appease Callie. But then like knowing that as time goes on, the kids are going to start saying things to each other and they are going to start talking. I mean, like you're on the cusp of middle school here. Like they are going to start parroting their parents' beliefs and the things their parents say at home and the things their parents watch on the news. And maybe this is the time to start getting Callie ready and say, listen, they just have beliefs that are different from ours. And I just don't want, you to
ever feel that
you could even
from
say,
us.
as the mom, I don't feel comfortable. So
putting you in that situation.
I don't feel comfortable, but I don't even feel comfortable with the women.
Right.
So I don't really feel comfortable going. I understand if you want to keep playing with them, I could try it again. But I just want to tell you that the minute that this starts to feel outwardly, like I'm hearing outward stuff that is against how we believe and live, we're going to have to not go back.
And I guess I just feel like that was around the age group for me. And obviously I'm not a parent, but that was around the time that I had a huge change in my life of moving from, I was around 11 when we moved from New York to Florida. And I remember specifically that probably at this point, and I've, talked about it in therapy often, that I think that maybe I was parentified too young, but my mom and I got it was a lot of talking about like how she really struggled with like becoming friends with, and I'm saying this is just generalistic of like being a New Yorker and then like befriending a bunch of Southern women that would like talk behind her back and stuff like that I feel like my mom and I started to be able to like talk about those things and feeling different and not fitting in. That like, I remember my mom sharing that stuff with me and just being so like, oh, that's crazy that my mom could not fit in places.
Yeah.
And it was around that time period that I was like, oh, my mom is also just out here trying to make friends. Cause like I was so upset that I was like, you took me away from my friends. I don't have anything here. And then it made me recognize that and of course, I'm not saying like at 10, I was like, I see the parentification. I'm saying after years of therapy that I figured this out, that I saw her as a person for the first time. And it was something that I feel like that helped our relationship, that I do wonder that if you feel comfortable enough to talk to Callie about how you feel about this, that it might strengthen your relationship in a way.
I hear what you're saying, which is like, I am saying you could go back once in a while and then leave if something bad happens, but also you could just avoid something bad happening by not going back anymore and just giving Callie a little bit more info. Like, you're telling me that these are all women that don't work. They all work from home. They all thank God for the sun being out. There's definitely going to be a day where one of those kids says, well, being gay is against the law, is against God. Or there is going to be a day where one of those kids says, well, there are only two genders and it's boy and girl.
Yeah, exactly. God made you that, it's like all of that.
And so unless you want to put Callie in that situation where they have to hear that and then sort of feel heartbroken by that group of friends or feel othered, then as a growing experience for them, maybe you do. I don't know.
You can't
would
save
probably
them from everything, but also you don't want to send them into a viper's den either.
Yeah,
so
and I'm not saying, wow, you guys should just move closer to the big city because that's where people are going to like what you like more. I'm just saying, and I freaking feel you on the $6 of gas because Jesus, I'm like going broke filling my car up. But I think trying to farm out some friendships from the theater group, the RPG group, like be a little bit more, maybe trying to up it to like 2 days at school so that they can
have
develop a little bit of more friendships at the school and trying to, find some local communities that maybe aren't even related to homeschooling. They could just be with kids that some parents that like maybe do like what your spouse does, friends from work or like local people in the area. I know it's a small rural town, so it's like whatever, but people that just maybe have kids around Callie's age where they could just play and hang out and have interaction that is not faith-based. Because I don't think you're a bitch for rejecting this group, because even though you need connection, I cannot help but think with how you have described it that things are eventually going to turn with the kids getting to be at older age and starting to talk.
Yeah. And I just feel like things like even like TTRPG groups, like you can play all of that over Zoom, and like thinking of other things that they can do together too that also provide community through. And I know it's not the same. Believe me, I'm not saying that being over Zoom is the same as being in person. We all know it's not the same. But like you said, with gas and everything and life, it does make it a lot easier, though, to at least create community.
Yeah. But let us know what you decide to do. I would also feel weird being in like a group with a bunch of people who are super Christian.
Yeah, I would feel. I would feel like they were all like. I just don't think I could handle the anxiety.
Yeah,
and especially of just like, when are they going to say something that upsets my kid? When are they going to say something that upsets my kid? Like, because I don't know. Because you're right. Hashtag not all Christians.
It is totally hashtag not all Christians, but like especially because you have a child that is non-binary at the moment, right? As you said,
correct.
Like that, there's an extra layer of like. Kids do say crazy stuff all the time. I mean, and even if it's stuff that they just heard or stuff that they don't even believe, and you can't protect your kids from all that, but
you want them to have the freedom to try it on.
I think you would know at this point. I think you would know at this point if this was a group of Christian people that also was accepting of trans people and accepting of non-binary and LGBTQ people. I think you would know that.
It doesn't sound like they're openly
and it doesn't sound like
that.
You have discovered that. So there are Christians. I am friends with many Christians who are down with that.
Yes. Yes, accepting of other people.
I just doesn't seem like you have come across that in your investigations of being with these people.
Sorry.
And that's why you took yourself out of it. But I think that there's
more
other
conversation.
Ways. Yeah.
I think more conversation can happen between you and Callie.
Let us know what happens with you and Callie.
Please. We wish you both all the best too, because that's got to be, I know you just want your kid to feel accepted.
But I think it also could be worth going into the big city, the hour drive. I know the $6 a gallon is terrible, but like once a month, once every 3 weeks, something like that you do sporadically could be great just to meet like-minded kids, like-minded adults, meet some friends. Then once you meet some friends maybe they'll drive 30 minutes out and you drive 30 minutes. And 30 minutes is not that big of a deal to drive for play dates. I mean, we do that kind of stuff all the time, but we live in a bigger city where we're driving far all the time. Let us know. And thank you so much for writing in, excuse me. Now this is a call.
Thank you for calling. Who's the bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey, Karen, Jackie. Got a quick who's the bitch situation for you. So I'm planning an engagement party with my family out on the West Coast. Currently, I live in Brooklyn, New York, and as part of my whole engagement, process and experience, I want to have an engagement party for my whole family on my mom's side that lives out in the Seattle area. And in between me, picking up my weekend and booking up my flight, there was rumblings of one of my cousins having a sprinkle. So it's her, second kid not a full baby shower. And she doesn't really kind of want the sprinkle, but her parents, my aunt and uncle, want her to have one. So in between me, getting these flights, picking out my date, the kind of sprinkle started happening up in my mom's family. They're all like very tight knit. So I was talking to my mom on the phone the other day, and she said that my cousin was going to have her sprinkle on potentially the weekend that I was flying out for my engagement party. My mom was like, well, what do you expect people to do? They can't just get together back-to-back weekends. And I kind of was like, well, I don't know if that's not really my problem. I'm coming out for this specific event. I've already made arrangements. We're starting to kind of plan this party. We haven't invited anyone yet. But can't Megan just, move the sprinkle? Can't that just be moved? But she suggested on potentially me sharing the sprinkle and my engagement party, having a combo. And I just think that's kind of an absolutely not. And I just think that it's not that big of a deal to move the little party since, we can be a little flexible. Understand that babies come early, but maybe we can move the party. I don't think it's too much to be asking. Don't want to come off as a potential bridezilla. But, I want to have my little celebration, my little party on, the date that I already picked out and I already have flight booked. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Thanks.
Okay, doing the sprinkle and the thing as a combo is absolutely unhinged and not possible. Like, you're not having a day to celebrate your engagement and then going, now let's move over and open gifts for a second child in a family.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
That is what a ridiculous offer. I just feel like that was never one of the options.
No.
Ever. Of all of this conversation, you both doing it at the same time is not a part of this.
Because I'm assuming this is your first marriage and engagement. If it's your second, I don't know. I guess you guys could combo it because why are you having an engagement party for your second engagement? But if
I am assuming this is their first.
Yeah,
because
it's your first engagement. This is a big life moment for you. A sprinkle is literally like, just in case anybody doesn't know, because I know plenty of people that don't know.
Oh my God, I'm so annoyed by the name sprinkle for it.
You have a baby shower when you have your first baby, and then you have a sprinkle sometimes for a second baby. I did not.
Is it because you can't hold your water anymore? And
no,
because
it's
you're always
because
pissing on yourself?
is this, a shower is this, and a sprinkle is just a little sprinkle.
And so you're lesser than? Like, you're just saying that the next kids are lesser than?
It's because at a shower, you get the stroller, the crib, the big stuff, and you already have it. So for a sprinkle, if you come to a sprinkle, you're usually bringing maybe a little onesie for the baby, a little rattle. You're bringing something little, a book. Like, it's like they already have all the crap that their sibling has, unless your kids are literally 10 years apart, which does
and you already
happen
got
also.
rid of
you got rid of everything, and then you're knocked up again, and like whatever, you're having a new shower because you need stuff, I guess. But a sprinkle's much more low key. You said your cousin doesn't even care about having it. The bitch in this situation is your aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Insisting on having this because they need attention.
Let's be real, it's probably the aunt. Yes, can we just be real about it?
They need attention for their child's second child or their other grandchild, and it's not really necessary. What I would say is you just plan your party and say, this is happening on this date. If your cousin wants to have the sprinkle the next morning as
do
like
a brunch sprinkle,
a 2-hour brunch, that makes the most sense to me because then it's also kind of your farewell when you're getting on your plane later that day to go back to Brooklyn, and that's what you do to me.
I think that's literally the only answer. Or
because it does
no
make
sprinkle.
sense if you're going to be out there and you're close with your cousin. It does make sense for you to be, if you want to be out there and you're not going to fly out there a second time.
And
unless you are, in which case, go, I'm happy to come back in 2 weeks and let's do the sprinkle then.
Yeah, but you're coming from Brooklyn. I don't think you're going to be coming back and you're already coming back for a sprinkle. I don't think so. But I love to, at least, it doesn't seem like any of the animosity is between the cousins. Like, I feel like this is such the above generation is having this. And I feel like you and your cousin are like, I don't even, why are they even, can we just not do this? And I think that a brunch sprinkle is the way to go. I think that you do it the next
just
day.
like the next
We're assuming
day.
this is a Saturday.
I'm assuming this is a Saturday
engagement
party, like the main event. That's the main event for people.
You do a brunch sprinkle.
And then the next day, it's a little sprinkle. I mean, would you be opposed to that? You said dates, so I don't know if maybe your engagement party has multiple components to it, but there's got to be a way in a weekend that you can squeeze in this little sprinky dink. I mean, I think it's honestly better to have a sip and see for this kind of thing.
What's the difference?
That's when the baby's born. You just come and you bring them a little something.
Oh, so for the second one, you do a sip and see and you don't do a sprinkle?
You can do a sip and see for the first one too. That's where you just have people over to drink wine and look at your baby. I didn't do those either. But I don't know. I'm just kind of like, have the baby.
That's such a, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be hung up on sip and see. So wait, you invite, after you've had a baby, you invite everybody over to get drunk and look at the baby?
You can. It's like not get drunk. They come over at like middle of the day, have a glass of wine. I mean, they could have a spin drift. I don't know. And then they can hold the baby, and then maybe they bring a gift for the baby then because you haven't done a sprinkle or you haven't done whatever.
Wow.
You know?
I had no idea.
I think some people like to do sip and sees too because in some places like Jews a lot of times do not give gifts for babies before they're born.
Okay.
They think it's bad luck. So a sip and see is like perfect. You come see the baby, you bring a gift, whatever. But
it makes sense. They do sit and shiva better too.
Yeah.
I know it really is. It's just where it's just like I love sitting shiva.
Yeah,
it is like
so much food, nice drinks, some jokes,
and memories, and sharing.
Yeah.
It is I feel it is something that I've added into my grief process because I truly believe sitting shiva is the way to properly
shiva
grieve
can
someone.
be great. Yeah,
and but I guess I had no idea about these sip and sees. And I know that this is not the case, but I just imagine someone being like, let me see that baby. Let me see that baby. Like,
it's like a bunch of ladies being like, your baby is so beautiful.
Yeah,
or whatever.
That makes a lot more sense.
Also, it's like you have so much, if these babies are close together, you just have so much freaking stuff. You really like, it's nice to get the new baby a couple new things so that they don't feel totally, but they also don't have any feelings about it because they don't know what stuff is for like 2 years, you know?
Right.
But anyway, I digress. This is your moment. I'm assuming your cousin already had a big baby shower and had her moment that was not combined with anything else.
Yeah.
So the day is your day and stand by that. Stand by it.
It should be your day.
Yeah. Let us know what happens and tell your aunt and uncle to chill out.
Yes.
A sprinkle is like barely a thing. I had to explain it on the podcast because probably not everybody even knows what I'm talking about.
Also, it's a stupid name. I'm doubling down on it. It's a stupid name. I hate the name sprinkle, and I love sprinkles.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about, again, just not being able to. I mean, I do hear tale that after having children, you could never really not piss yourself ever again. Right?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, you're fine? Okay,
I got to
all right.
get there quick, but I don't piss myself.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good.
But you also don't anyone feel pressure to have a sprinkle. I didn't have, I mean, I was COVID when I had my kid, so we weren't having sprinkles, but like, come on. People that want to send a gift will send a gift. It's like the first baby shower is like a whole thing like, oh, I'm so excited. And you honestly need a couple of big ticket items, and it's nice for richer family members to give you things or friends to combine.
Yes.
My baby shower was literally at the bar that I currently run a comedy show at every Wednesday.
Whoa,
so
full circle.
It doesn't have to be that precious, you know, where it has to happen. I don't know. I don't even know. This is let us know what happens. Thank you for writing.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to read our next one.
You got
Hello, my bitcharitas. I love that.
Oh my God, are we in the big cans? I'm thinking of the big O's.
Yeah. I'm a bitcharita, but I'm like a Bud Light bitcharita where it's like red.
A mangarita.
It's like red colored.
Strawberry.
Yeah, strawberry.
I'll get into a strawberry.
Yeah. So sweet. You're like, oh, this is hurting my head. All right. I love you both so much. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get into it. My question for you two is, would I be the bitch for talking to my sister about her boyfriend of 3 years? Parentheses, I hate him.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, to provide some context, my sister is 4 years younger than me and has always been a bit immature for her age.
Okay.
She's also extremely tall and has been since we were young. So imagine being 14 years old, trying to blend in at school and only being able to stick out. She really didn't blossom into her confidence until she was in her late 20s, but growing up, I was like her tiny bodyguard. If someone was mean to her at school, I would find them. I'd invite her to parties with me, so she made friends with older kids. All my friends were friends with her because if I was there, she was there too. All of this to say we are extremely close and I am very protective of her. I love her not only as a sister, but as a soulmate. Cute. Now, in her early 30s, she's totally become herself, confident, insanely beautiful. Not that matters to the story, but I'm bragging on her behalf.
You're so adorable.
Deeply kind, goofy, pretty much any good trait you can think of. This is where I'm struggling. She met a boyfriend 3 years ago when she was living in another state on the other side of the country. This is her first boyfriend. He's 6 years younger than her and is equally as crazy tall as she is. Imagine the most typical surfer bro you could ever picture. That's him. Objectively, they are a beautiful looking couple. And I'm only saying this because I think it gives context to the overall story and why she is mesmerized by him. The problem, he is a loser. They moved back to my family's hometown and have been living in my parents' house for nearly a year. He has no drive. He has no passions. He doesn't really engage in conversation. He asks no questions. And though I've known him for 3 years now, I'm pretty sure he knows nothing about me. He loves conspiracy theories and is an anti-vaxxer. Oh my God. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a job. He just surfs all day. He did go back to school, which was a plus because at least he was passionate about something, but in recent conversations, he's mentioned that he's not interested in his major anymore. So who knows where that's going to lead? She can just do so much better, and it makes me sad to watch. When they first started dating, I was just hoping time would be the catalyst for a breakup. But within 2 months, they moved in together, got a cat, and have been attached ever since. I've mentioned my concerns in the beginning when they moved in so quickly and got a pet. I told her it was crazy to move in this quickly with her first boyfriend, and if she ever got the feeling that she wanted to get out of the relationship, to please let me know ASAP so she's not trapped. But since then, they're in love, and she is absolutely head over heels for this weenie. Hot dog emoji. Which, Jackie, I know you would like.
Thank you.
For some more context, his relationship with my family has been rocky. We have another sister, and she doesn't have the, let's say, tact or emotional intelligence to deliver a message like, we all hate your dumb boyfriend. For instance, she would actually just blurt something like that out. Anywho, my other sister and her wife really hate him, and it's pretty apparently obvious when we're all together. One night we went out to dinner with the entire family, and the boyfriend and my other sister got into a screaming match because he didn't offer to split the bill. This is also a consistent thing with him. It was bad, and our family really doesn't fight like that, so it was not good.
Oof.
Not to mention that my parents coddle my sister and the boyfriend like a baby. That's an entire separate issue. So my question for you is, would I be the bitch if I sat my sister down and really had a conversation with her about this boyfriend? With me, she can very obviously tell that I'm not fond of him. Unfortunately for me, my poker face is not great.
I get you.
She's asked me multiple times if I have a problem with him. The truth is, I don't. I have a problem with her dating him, but it's not my relationship to like. So if he's not my choice for her, does that matter? My fear is that if I have a sincere conversation with her expressing my concerns, will it just be driving a wedge between the two of us and shutting down the possibility of her coming to me in the future? Okay, love you so much. Your little Anon bitchling. Oh, little Anon.
Ooh.
This is so tough because I've been in this situation.
Me too.
I've been in this situation. My sister dated somebody for a long time that, you know, she will now admit was not the best guy for her. And I tried to talk to her about it, and it really did drive a bit of a wedge between us. Not like totally, but she didn't feel like she could honestly talk to me about her relationship because she knew that I didn't really approve, even though I tried to talk really nicely about it and be like, do you really think this is the guy and this and that? You know, like I was never like, this guy's a loser, because the situation was obviously different. There were a lot of red flags about this guy, but he also, in a lot of ways, treated her very nicely and was obsessed with her and was, you know, like he wasn't unambitious and not willing to pay for stuff and leeching off my parents. That was not an issue because that's driving me a little bit crazy reading this.
Yes.
But also, like, they eventually did break up and I cried a tear of joy. I literally have never cried at a wedding or over anything happy happening to me, and I cried a happy tear when that happened. And now she's married to a great guy that I love. So I don't think it's a bad idea to sit down and have a conversation.
No.
Because I think she probably trusts you because you have not picked a fight with him the way your other sister has.
Correct.
And you have not come out and just said anything, but she's reading it from you.
Yes.
So I think you could just sit down and go, look, I feel bad that my poker face kind of gives away how I feel about Bill or whatever his freaking name is. You know, I feel bad that like, you know, you're kind of wondering how I feel about him. And I just wanted to sit down and have a conversation. Like, if you're happy, I'm happy. I'm never going to like demand that you break up with someone or give you an ultimatum. I just feel like it's been 3 years. It's not like I'm making a snap judgment about him. I've gathered enough information.
Right.
He doesn't feel like he's interested in getting close with your family. He doesn't seem like he's got any ambition to do anything with his life.
He surfs
You
all
guys
day.
are living with mom and dad and kind of leeching off of them. I'm just worried that you're sort of blinded by like love, quote unquote, and not like really looking down the road at what a sustainable, long relationship of growing old with someone looks like.
I think that's also the part of where I think it's all about how you talk to your sister about it completely. We talk about this a lot here where if you come in and it seems like you've already done a great, like your other sister was already taking it down in the complete wrong way. You know that is not the way to go about it. It's not going to do anything good. That would just drive a wedge between you and your sister. However, the fact that your sister has even asked, like, do you not really like it? Like, obviously she's picked up on it before. She knows you really well. That I feel like going about it in the way, like in a way of saying, hey, I feel like I've been like not been the most truthful with you about Sean or David or whatever the hell his name is. Oh, Bill. That like, I feel like that you're not thinking like, as someone that I think that you could come about this, you can even use me as an example of my friend who got trapped in a relationship young, that I realized looking back that I was in the relationship when I look back and I'm like, oh, but we would break up and then we get back together and then we break up. And why was I always in this relationship? And it's really, no one ever sat me down and said, I think he's not for you.
Yeah.
And I would have really loved that because I didn't realize until years later that it was just because it was easy. And because like he was there and it was fine and we were together. And it wasn't that I was drawn by passion. It was just kind of easy. And I think that there's a part of this conversation that you can go to your sister of like, hey, like, in thinking about, like, you're in your early 30s now. He's 6 years younger. He's in a different place in life than you are.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Like, in asking your sister, like, what do you want? Like, I don't think it's living with mom and dad and living off of them and not
do you
having
guys
any...
want a family? Do you want to own a house? Like, maybe they don't. Maybe they don't want to. Maybe they're like, no, we actually want to travel around the world surfing and fucking around forever.
Sure.
And you go, cool, I support that.
What are his intentions of how to pay for something like that? Like, genuinely of like asking as a sister of like, I don't think anyone else can ask you these questions, but like, is this someone you want to like start a life with?
Because you're saying she's always been emotionally immature. So she might just be thinking, oh my God, I have a hot boyfriend and I love him so much and we have a cat and everything's perfect.
But also, peace, if that's all you're looking for and you're like, I'm good with just this and I'm coasting through this and I'm not wanting anything bigger, I'm not shooting for anything more, which again, I'm not saying that in a bad judgmental way. Some people don't. And maybe she's one of those people that it's like, I'm vibing and we're vibing, so we're good. I didn't feel that way by the time I was in my early 30s, but I was a different person.
She did say that this was her sister's first boyfriend, right?
Correct.
Yes, her first boyfriend.
Correct.
Which I think is another thing. She has
also
always
same
been tall.
with what I went through.
She has always been tall. She has probably always felt like, you know, not having a lot of luck with guys, like, which I also went through. I was like pretty tall, like taller than a lot of guys in school. I did not have a boyfriend until I was 29 years old. And guess what? I am married to him now. Like, that was my only, like, I was not a big boyfriend person. And this was my sister's first boyfriend too. And I feel like I was trying to tell her a lot, you're so amazing. Like, I know you didn't have a boyfriend like in high school, or both of us, like in our family, like not a lot of us were like dating younger years. religious, like not religiously, long term, you know? We were having like long term boyfriends or girlfriends. And I'm just kind of like, this isn't the only shot you're going to get. You're awesome. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe
That's
just
why
giving
I
her a
was
little
saying
shot
of literally anyone.
of like the way you feel about her, which is clearly so sweet and you think she's the freaking best.
Right.
And just be like, I just worry that you don't think that there is, if you get out of
More
this
for
relationship,
you.
that you don't think that there's more for you. And I just know that there is.
Right. And that it's
Because you're amazing.
I feel like this conversation is almost way more supporting your sister of like, what does she want? And actually starting a conversation that maybe she really hasn't been asked rather than it just being anti-Bill. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it could be your perspective of more of like, hey, I just want to like check in on what's going on with everything, that I think can become about with like a sisterly manner rather than coming at her of like, you got to do this, because we're not at that situation, you know?
Because you said she's confident, but maybe not as confident as you think, because also they moved back to your family's hometown and have been living in your parents' house for a year. Like, what's the plan?
Right.
Because this guy is going to say, oh, actually, I'm changing my major. Oh, actually, my friend is going to get me a job working for his startup. Like, this guy's just going to keep stringing it along while your parents or your sister pay for his whole freaking life. And I could just tell. And also, oh my God, I just like, who wants to be in their early 30s with a boy in their late 20s? I don't know. Like, I don't know.
A boy surfer.
That actually, I'm actually being unfair because a 6-year age gap is not crazy. It's just men are so immature in a lot of ways.
And this
particular man sounds super immature.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like, I'm very like, no one should get married until they're 35 because you just like don't even know who you are.
At least.
But this guy is like, all right, sweet. I got like a hot girlfriend who's older and taking care of everything. Like, he's not
what does he have
paying
to
at
change?
dinner.
Exactly.
Like, come on, bro. I would have the conversation just because it sounds like you are not going to have the conversation that you asked about. You did not say, you asked, should I tell my sister that I hate her boyfriend? No. I think you should sit and have a conversation with your sister about where she sees her life going, her relationship. And then you can be a little bit more honest about how you feel about him. Like, I feel like I have friends who are super close with their brother-in-laws or sister-in-laws because they work at it and try to know about each other. And for example, me, Kara, my husband loves my siblings. He's like, your siblings are all so cool. He asks them questions. He gets to know them. Like, I don't think any of them would say, Jared doesn't really seem interested in knowing anything about me. Like, he talks to them.
Yeah.
That's a shitty thing to like feel from he's not your in-law quite yet, but a potential in-law.
A potential one.
So I think just telling those concerns, like, he just doesn't seem like he cares about like knowing us. And just.
And how are you not getting an ick from that? I feel like there's also like, and you don't get any
But she's
icks
more
from how he's
immature. If
acting?
she's in her early 30s and she's kind of a little bit delayed, then maybe she's acting a little bit more like someone in their late 20s who's like, I'm gonna live forever. But like, you're not. Like, your parents, I mean, who knows how long the parents are gonna coddle? You should probably talk to them about it. They need to be kicked out onto their little butts and find out.
To go figure some stuff out.
Because that's when she's really gonna figure out. If your parents don't like this boyfriend, then your parents should kick them out and make her live with this boyfriend with no help and see if
how's that
for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, to
when
see
he's
if all
not
that
doing
works
anything
out.
about the richer or poorer side of it. How you feel about that?
In the good times and the bad. Let's give him some bad times to work with here. Like, you got to work together, get over stuff together. I don't know. I just think it's a great idea for you to talk to her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think you should.
Yes.
I think you should. Even if it alienates her a little bit, which it did a little bit with me and my sister, we eventually were good again. They broke up, it'll be in the back of her mind. She won't be going, well, my one sister doesn't like her, but my other one does. Because for all you know in your mind, she's like, I thought you kind of liked him,
Right.
I saw you kind of laugh at something he said at dinner one time. Anyway, let us know what happens.
Please.
Okay, let's get to our next voicemail.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey, Karen and Jackie. This is Cassidy from Iowa City. Love you guys. Love the pod. I'm going to get right into it because this literally just happened to me.
Ooh.
So I'm on my way back to my car. I am a university student at the University of Iowa, and we have these little signposts all over town where people can post flyers and kind of invite people to events and that kind of thing. But over the past few weeks, there have been a series of flyers going up by this university group called Young Adults for Freedom. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're kind of Turning Point USA adjacent. And they've been posting these flyers all over town that say, everybody is welcome, including ICE. And then, including there's an event meetup thing. I don't know if it's a protest or what, but obviously that's fucking stupid. And so every time I go by and I see one of these posters, I rip it down and I throw it in the trash. Today, I'm walking back to my car, just got done with this, and I saw one of these posters, so I ripped it off the cement box. And I go to throw it in the garbage, and all of a sudden from behind me, I hear someone say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I turn and look. Of course, it's this, muscular frat boy, looking guy, and he looks pissed. And he's like, "Why did you rip that sign down?" And I said, "Because it's supporting fascism." And this man looks me dead in the face, and he says, "Fascists deserve to have their voice heard too." And I just shook my head, I threw it in the trash, and I walked away. Now, I guess that's the whole BITCHuation. Am I the bitch
No!
for tearing it down and throwing it in the trash?
Nope.
Hate speech is technically protected under the First Amendment. Or is he the bitch for
Being a
protecting
fascist.
fascists?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You know what? If he wants to be a fascist, I think you should start giving him a little taste of his own medicine, which is going to be you're not in
You
an
don't
under
get-
fascist
yeah.
regime. You don't get to talk.
You don't get
So
to be heard. No.
If you feel that way, sir, I think it's great that you're doing that.
It makes me want to go out and search for them just so I can also rip them down.
Yeah, they can repost them. Yeah, this is basically a TPUSA, Young Republicans type group.
I immediately looked it up and it was just like, It is, I agree with you, and I'd also rip them down. And oh my God, though, getting caught doing it.
Getting caught doing it is pretty fun. I don't want you to get hassled by a frat boy that is meaner.
I don't trust any of them. Lord help. I mean, as someone that had a huge Greek life at my college, I don't trust any of them. And I know, I guess not all of them, but I'm going to throw it out there, especially the ones that say fascists deserve to have their voices heard too. I'm going to say bye. How about you just don't look at me, don't talk to me, don't.
He could have had a conversation with you about how it's not fascism, but instead he doubled down on the fascism.
Love it, yeah.
So then, yeah, I think you get to rip the poster down. If there was a sign for a Nazi rally, I would rip it down.
Yep.
I just told you guys, I saw somebody leave a note for someone that was rude, and I threw it away.
Yeah, man, get rid of it. We don't need this. We don't need this garbage.
Yeah.
And I love, you know what? I would dare say I would probably take it on because, of course, you're right. They do have the ability to put that poster up. They have the ability to do it.
And you're not silencing their voice, though. You're literally silencing. What you are doing is very minimally silencing their advertising.
Yes.
They're still going to have Ben Shapiro come and talk.
Exactly.
Their voices are going to be
still gonna
heard.
have all their bullshit.
That's it. It's like you're just ripping down a poster, and people rip down posters all the damn time.
All the time. And
so
I just feel like this isn't even you going to the school board to be like, they shouldn't put those. You're right. They have the right to do that. And you have the right to rip it right off of the public sign as well. And maybe, I guess you don't, but off of public sign, I don't know the
You
legal...
don't. You are being the bitch here. Technically, under legal terms, you are the bitch, and good for you. We like your bitching.
Yeah,
we like how
it,
bitchy you're
we say
being, and we
keep
think you
going.
should do it.
Yeah, we say that
and we would
should
do the
continue.
same thing.
I would 100% do the same thing.
Just next time, maybe like look around and make sure nobody,
Just for your own safety.
menacing is seeing you do it.
Yeah,
but like,
just
these guys need to make enough copies that they know that at least 50% of them are going to get taken down.
At least we hope.
Hope you guys have a deal at a copy shop, you freaking losers.
And I also, great response because it supports fascism. I just want to say, as someone that if I had been caught, I'd been like, because I hate you.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would be my response. So I just want to say, proud of you for having a quippy response.
It's interesting, though, that you're saying that this stuff's coming up only in the last few weeks. You've been seeing them pop up because it's like everyone's now, it's all part of the grift, too. Everybody's like, oh, wow, Turning Point USA is actually like a multi-million-dollar company. They're all going to try to grift and get all the red pill Republican dudes to come over and follow their little organization and eventually make some kind of money out of it, you know?
Yep.
So screw them.
It all comes back to money in the end, don't it, guys? And we support you here, Cassie.
Jackie, please read our final submission because it's worth reading. It's very fun.
Got it. You got it. Hey, ladies. First of all, I love you both. Found you through a Side Stories episode back in the beginning. Now I look forward to new episodes every Wednesday. We're so happy you're here. I'm also not much of a writer, so apologies. No apologies needed. Anywho, here's the situation. Maybe more of a bitchlet? I was away this past week visiting my mom in Hilton Head, South Carolina, while my fiance was home. I came home late Tuesday night and he was already asleep, so I went right to bed. Wednesday, as I was unpacking, I noticed instructions on my bedside table, ... Upon opening the instructions, I learned that they were for a pretty advanced sex doll, like the versions people try to marry on shows like My Strange Addiction.
Lars and the Real Girl?
Oh
Style?
my God. Oh, Ryan Gosling. He got home late from work last night. I brought it up to him like, what's with this sex doll instruction booklet? He brushed it off saying, we found it at work and we were trying to figure out whose it was. Then I asked, okay, why was it on my nightstand? And he changed the subject. The whole thing seemed suspicious. I also found a platinum blonde hair in the bed that seemed fake, but could have been mine because I'm blonde. I have fine, dirty blonde hair, and this was fake feeling and really light. I have also come home to find a pocket pussy on my nightstand in the past, which I am definitely more okay with than a full-on sex doll. It would be odd if he did spend a large sum of money on a sex doll because he doesn't have a high sex drive. I could be over-exaggerating the whole situation and it might have just been a found item, but I think I'll shit my pants if I open a cabinet and a sex doll pops out. Is it worth it to up my bitch and interrogate?
I do think it is weird to be like, we found a sex doll manual and I brought it home and put it on your nightstand. Because I'm assuming you have separate sides of the bed and it's only on your side. Like, why would that be where you put it? Like, you'd leave that in like your car or the kitchen or whatever. So I do think it's weird. And then he changed the subject. But at the same time, where do you think that he's keeping this sex doll? Those are big. Those aren't ones you can deflate. These are big ones.
Yeah, you would have to put it somewhere, but it could have been brought in.
And they're the size of a human being.
Out, though. It could have been used in the bed because...
Where is he keeping it? A friend's house?
Maybe it was something that ended up being at work, but then why would you bring it home from work and then bring it back to work?
I think you have to re-ask him.
I don't think I could let this go. I think that I would probably ask a couple of times.
Especially because you said he has low sex drive. So what's he doing with the pocket pussy, which I'm assuming that's like a fleshlight, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's got like a fleshlight. But did you ask him about that?
Because also, I feel like in terms of it is very malleable, like the phrase high or low sex drive is always, in comparison to what? In comparison
of like,
I will always throw that out there of like, and also just because someone is into just getting one out rather than having like a full sexual experience also is something that can be found out and discovered in a relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that because to be fair, having sex is a lot of energy and it is a lot of putting it in. Sometimes just jerking off is easier. Just throwing that out there.
But let me also say, you wouldn't even be thinking this or writing to us if you weren't just like generally suspicious.
Correct.
You're saying you feel like he has a low sex drive, at least in your relationship with you.
Correct.
Then you come home to a fleshlight at one point. You come home now to sex doll instructions. I think you're
on
just
the
getting
bedside
you're
table.
getting a gut feeling. And
Yes.
this is your fiance. This is a guy that you're going to marry and be with. And for him to change the subject when you're in the middle of asking him about something, you have the absolute right to go back to him and go, by the way, can we get back to like how these instructions ended up on my nightstand? Like, it's just kind of weird. And then say, I also found like a weird blonde hair. Like, do you own this sex doll? It's okay with me if you do, but like, did you buy a sex doll or have it in our house?
Even then, it sounds like it's not okay with you if he did, because I
think you'll be surprised if one pops out of a closet.
for sure. And also, I would be surprised also if my partner lied about it. I would definitely, we would have to have a couple more conversations of like, well, then why did you lie about, like, why? Like, I guess I understand you don't want to get like caught having sex with a sex doll, but then in my brain of like, okay, if you're going to lie about that, then because you're right. Writering is already like, at least
Janelle,
you're picking up
suspicious
something.
of something because why are you even? It could easily be something he found at work and the guys were all joking about it and then he has it. I don't know why it's on your bedstand.
bedside? Yeah.
I don't know why it's on your nightstand. That's weird. But also, if you were not having some kind of suspicious feeling about that in your gut, which I do believe you should trust, you would not even be thinking about this or talking about it.
Because,
and if you're overreacting, you're overreacting. But I think there's something that you feel like there's some stuff he's hiding from you in general.
Because question, how did the conversation about the pocket pussy go?
Yeah.
Because when you said you found it on your bedside table, so did you bring it up? Did you guys talk? Is this something that you guys talk about? Even the fact that like, you're like, he's got the talking about his sex drive as well. So is this something that has been discussed before? Like, is that why? Because I feel like, I guess if I came home after being gone for a while and I found a pocket pussy on Jeff's nightstand, I would definitely be like, oh, I didn't even know you had this.
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
But if I came home
okay,
from
great.
2 different like trips and there was a sexual thing once and then a sexual thing another time, I'd be like, you don't even seem like a super sexual person. So is it me? Is there something going on? Like, do you have some kind of fetishes that you don't tell me about, that you just do when I go out of town? Like, I don't know. You should know that stuff. That's your fiance.
But also, if you get off on like thinking that it's sneaky, I'd also love to know about it. Like, it's also something that we can talk about. That, like, if that's something that you're into, well, we could play with stuff like that. We definitely, like, there's lots of things that we can do. So
although one of those dolls, they are expensive and they are big,
and that's why I understand where it was like. I think that you would probably have noticed, I'm assuming, with a fiance spending that much money.
I don't know. Some people don't combine their finances. Some people don't.
I mean, I don't have my finances combined with my husband, but I know he's not spending thousands on a sex doll because he ain't got it.
Yeah.
It's like, I know that.
Right.
I know that he ain't. So I know that he's not doing that.
The subject line was, am I blowing a blow-up doll out of proportion?
Whoa.
But it's more than a blow-up doll because this is the kind that is like, it's made out of like the silicone, like, and
they're heavy.
Like they're like made with like holes that are functioning, I believe. Anyway, I think get back in there and talk to him. This is like your future husband. If you can't have conversations about stuff like this where you don't feel like you're getting a straight answer, then you should be marrying this person. And I'm not saying you're going to break up with him over a sex doll. I'm just saying you should be getting straight answers and finished conversations about stuff you want to talk about with your fiance.
And especially wanting to marry someone that is, as you're bringing something up, continually changing the subject as if it's like, I'm not a dog if you just throw the ball in a different, it's like, I'm asking you questions.
Yeah.
Stop.
Look over there.
Yeah, I feel like there is a little bit of that of like, no. Circling back. Do I have to use my corporate speak? Circling back. I'll circle back
Just wanted
to this.
to follow up from that convo we put a pin in. Listen, we gotta go because I gotta go write a letter to the person that's parked in front of my house.
Yeah, you do.
So thank you so much. Let us know what happens with the old fiance.
Let us
Everybody
know.
else, let us know what's going on. And email us, DM us. We are Who's the Bitch LPN on Instagram. We are on email. You can leave us a 5-minute voicemail. All that's available at who'sthebitch.com. Don't forget the BITCHathon.
June 11th.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Who's the Bee on YouTube.
And remember to get at us. Who's the bitch? Who's the bitch? Who'sthebitch.com. Except it's only the one. Who's the bitch?
Tell a couple friends. Spread the word.
Yeah.
Spread the gospel of the old Who's the Bitch.
Please. And we love you guys. And we'll be back next week.
Bye everybody.